I think that's asking too much of LeBron at 36 years old. You saw the 2 games that they won in this series. AD was tremendous, 34 points and 11 rebounds a game. The last time LeBron, without a second star, carried a team past a team as good as Phoenix was 2007 when he was in Cleveland during his first stint and they beat the Pistons in Detroit. And he got to the finals against San Antonio as a young kid. Since then, he's always had stars with him when he beat teams the caliber of the Phoenix Suns. And you just go 2 years ago when he didn't have a second star, came back from the groin injury, which is probably a similar comparison to him coming off this injury. And they went 8-13 to end the season with LeBron. This year, in February and March, when AD was hurt, before LeBron got hurt, they went 7-7. So they're not a great team without Anthony Davis. If you look at this without AD, and especially with Chris Paul, because they had LeBron and AD. I said from the beginning that without LeBron and AD, they're not winning the championship. I said from day one, with a healthy, even with LeBron and AD playing, that Phoenix could not beat them. Without AD,
but Chris, that's my point.
They can beat them. That's
my
fine.
point, and that's what I've been saying. That's what I've been saying.
Let me finish. Can I finish my answer? I was talking about them being healthy. And if they're without LeBron, AD, they got 3 of the 4 best players on the floor are in Phoenix. So I think this is going to be tough on LeBron. He was the only player yesterday with more than 12 points. He was the only Laker starter with a positive plus minus. Here's what they need to do to have a chance to beat Phoenix without AD. They got to just put the ball in LeBron's hands and let him be the system again. We know in the past he's typically been the system on his team. And that can be sometimes a challenge or a weakness when you've got a second star who can do something on his own. But when you've got role players around LeBron that need him to create opportunities for them, their best chance to win is to have him be the system. Put it in his hands, let him control the tempo, let him create offense for himself and for everybody else. He can't be off the ball as much anymore. It's like 2015 when they lost Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving. And they pushed Golden State to 6 games because LeBron was the system controlling everything. That's their only chance without AD. I'm not saying it'll work, but that's their only hope.
But that's why I interrupted you, because I've been saying it for 3 months. They don't have a second star. They don't. He doesn't have a number 2.
Well, not without AD.
He's been inconsistent all year when he's been healthy. Yes, he's been, because of, what have I said? He's inconsistent. Right? And he's not healthy. And even if he makes it to the playoffs, what's out there that makes us believe that he's actually going to sustain? Those are my exact words. So that's why I said that. We're seeing exactly what I said play out. It's unfortunate because I'm rooting for LeBron. Like, I want LeBron to catch Michael Jordan. It's another thing that I said. But you can't count on AD. And when you look at this matchup, the Suns are a better team. The Suns are they're not the number 2 seed for no reason. They're a really good team. CP3 came in and totally transformed how they operate and how they function on the court. And now you have LeBron James. Well, going into this series, Nick, you had LeBron James not 100%, and you had AD, who really didn't have a good game, a good year. He didn't even have a game or a series where it was, 2 back-to-backs, where it was really good games. He finally did that in games 1 and 2. We waited a long time to see that, and now he's down. So now the question is, can LeBron James carry them without AD? And the answer is no, because the Suns are a really good team.
Yeah, but the answer is yes, and you're going to see it in Game 5. So Broussard is, I think, discounting a bit what LeBron did in 2018? And the answer, I'm sure, is, well, none of those teams were really good. But that Raptors team that they swept out with no second star was a good team in every year, every series they played, except for against LeBron. And that Celtics team was young, but was a good team, and they beat them. But I would agree, none are quite as good as Phoenix. No, I agree. I don't think they were nobodies, but I agree. I think Phoenix is better than those teams. But what we are going to see is what Broussard said, where they're going to surround LeBron with shooters. The defense will take a hit. The offense will get better. LeBron's hand will be on the joystick the whole game. Instead of playing 36 to 38 minutes, he'll play 42 to 44 minutes. And you will see him show once again, even at age 36, year 18, why he is the single most impactful player on any team in any system the league has ever seen. I also think yesterday's game, we have to acknowledge all of the things that happened. It wasn't just that Anthony Davis went down during the game. And that, by the way, is worse than a player being ruled out before the game, because you have a game plan assuming you're going to have a guy and then you lose him. But it was also that KCP was held out. It was also that their third best player, Dennis Schroeder, who was excellent in the series until Game 4, was terrible. It was also, I thought, no matter what the numbers say, LeBron didn't play that well. LeBron was crazy loose with the ball. There were 3 separate times they had fast break opportunities, and they got screwed up because LeBron turned the ball over. And so all of those things happened, and the Lakers still were, they didn't have a great chance, but they were alive with 3 minutes left. That possession when they're down 7, Gasol has the ball and Chris Paul steals it from him, they had a chance to really make it a game. And so what the Lakers, where I have been consistent, is before the series, by the way, I said Lakers in 6 and the Lakers would lose games 1 and 4. So far, we're looking good. I adjusted it to Lakers in 5 when I thought Chris Paul was going to miss time, but Chris Paul looks healthy as ever. The other thing, Wildes, that Broussard, Brandon, and even my buddy Kevin Wildes laughed at me when I said a month ago was the Lakers don't need Anthony Davis every series of the postseason. They would need him against the Clippers because the Clippers have the defenders. They have a bunch of guys throw at LeBron. And I think they would need him against Denver because Jokic has been playing so well. I don't think they need Anthony Davis to beat the Suns. I think they need to go to the 2018 Cavs system with surrounding LeBron with shooters and let him control everything. And I think that's what they're going to do in Game 5, and I think they're going to win Game 5.
Okay, but here's the problem. Anthony Davis disagrees with you because after he played poorly in Game 1, here was his quote. No way we're winning a game, let alone a series, with me playing the way I played. And LeBron's like, yeah, I kind of like when he puts the pressure on himself. So the only thing that's worse than playing kind of poorly is playing not at all, Broussard. And I buy that he'll be able to control the game and surround him with shooters. And we've seen LeBron sort of put a team on his back and sort of drag them through a series. But Chris Paul looks good. We can see DeAndre Ayton turn into great DeAndre Ayton, like really fulfill the promise of being a number 1 pick when he's matched up against Marc Gasol and
Andre Drummond.
Andre Drummond. My goodness, I'm sorry. Andre Drummond, who got dunked on. He got dunked on so hard, I forgot his name. I apologize. So, Broussard, I think it could be a big game for Andre Drummond, and I think DeAndre Ayton could come out and really show out and be like, wow, this is the game sort of like can hinge on whether or not he can exploit the lack of AD.
Well, I've loved DeAndre Ayton throughout this series. He's looking like a future star to me. But to your point in Knicks, Nick, that Cleveland team in 2018, they had great shooters around LeBron. The Lakers don't have great shooters. I mean, especially with KCP ailing. All right, they can get hot, which they actually shot it fairly well in this last game. But for the most part, they're not a good three-point shooting team. So I don't know if that'll work. Secondly, at age 36, can LeBron do that, carry that load for 40 minutes a night for the next 3 games? And this is only the first round. So that's the question. You see he's he's playing in spurts and bursts, but can he do it for an entire game? That's the question.
Yeah, so earlier on the show, Chris, Nick pulled out his pad and he started jotting down everything I was saying. Can you do this for me, Nick? Can you pull that pad and that pen out again? Because my take will age nicely All right, because right now I'm not well positioned. You guys are talking about 2015, 2016. It's 2021. We're talking about what LeBron James is going to do because what he did way back then. My take will age nicely. The Suns will beat the Lakers because CP3's shoulder is fine.
On Friday?
Because it's CP3's shoulder. That's what we talked about. We talked the whole conversation
That's
was
the
about
one
CP3's shoulder.
That's the one I'm saving. That's the one I'm saving.
Right. No. CP3's shoulder. That's what we were talking about. CP3's shoulder. All right, write that down. Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.